Yes, Nithyanandam. Welcoming back all the viewers and welcoming back all the viewers and devotees to this beautiful segment of the glimpses of the glorious past on the 5th of May. In this segment, we see about the beautiful Leela of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and the first hand experience of the Tyaga and sacrifice the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has done over all of these years to build the only nation, Sri Kailasa. On this day, on the 5th of May 2004, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism presided over the various administrative tasks in Adi Kailasa Bengaluru Adhinam. Additionally, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism had various sessions with his disciples and gave healing boons and blessings to the devotees who on that day were visiting the Adhinam. We now move on to the 5th of May 2006. On this day, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism conducted the fourth Acharya training in the United States. Below are some pictures from the day 3 of the convention. And we move on to the year 2007. On this day, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism conducted the Atmaspurna program in Oklahoma, United States. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism explained how the Atmaspurna program was different from previous programs. He explained that this convention was neither technique based nor non technique based. It was a process adding something to us and taking the unwanted away from us. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism shared that Atmaspurna translates directly to mean the flowering of the soul and was structured in order to open up our being like how a flower opens up. He explained that this convention was simply just sitting with the master. Let us now see a glimpse from the program.
Welcome you all with my love and respect. Let's understand the word Atmaspurana. Literally translated, the word means flowering of yourself. Atma means the self, higher self. Spurana means flowering, overflowing. In every one of us, naturally our self is there, otherwise we will be dead, we will be gone. Just you being alive is a proof that you have self. The self exists in you. But it's not flowering. You don't feel constantly the flowering mood or flowering attitude or flowering being. Where is the problem? Where we need to work, what we need to do is all about these 2 days of shop. 2 days will work only on this line. Understand, if you already did any of our programs, don't think it is going to be same. That's the first thing you need to understand. My first level programs like ASP, now we call it LBP, LBP, NSP, all these things are technique based. I give you some particular technique, you do the technique. And there are next level programs, Dhyanaspurana, DSP, Nithyanandam. All these programs are no technique based. They are no technique. LBP, NSP, all technique based. The DSP, Nithyanandam, all these things are no technique based. This program, Atmaspurana, is neither technique based nor no technique based. It is called process. Process means we will be doing few things. Understand? Technique means you will be taught something. You can do it here and you can do it in the home. No technique means you will be given an understanding, you will be just sitting without doing anything. You can be there the same way in the home also. But now, here neither you are going to be doing something which you can do it in the home, nor you are going to be keep quiet which you can do it in the home. Here, it's something like a you and me, both of us are going to work together. It is called process. In Sanskrit we call that Upanishad. Understand? In Sanskrit we call that Upanishad. All our Vedic traditional scriptures, the cream is called Upanishad. Cream is called Upanishad. Literally the word means sitting with the master. That is what the word means. Sitting with the master. Process means you and me, both of us are going to work together. It is not technique because you can't go to your home and practice the same which you learned here. You can't practice. If you practice, not only there won't be effort, there will be side effect. So no practicing. You can't practice. Second thing, it is not no technique also. Because you are going to do something now. It is not technique because you can't go back to your home and practice. It is not no technique because you are going to do something now. Means both of us are going to work together. It will be like a cooking, boiling. In Sanskrit we have the word called Siddha. The word Siddha has got two meanings. One, boil, another one, enlightened. Both meanings are given to the same word. Now, you are going to be boiled. There is every possibility you can become enlightened. By tomorrow evening, let's hope at least you will become enlightened. Alright, hoping we can do all. Why should we few? It's like a process where you open yourself completely to the presence of the master. Understand? With the technique, you need to do something. With no technique, you don't need to do anything. Here, with process, even if you do or don't do, the work will start happening. Only thing you have to be here. You have 5 layers of condition. Yesterday night I was talking about that. We call that as a koshas, 5 sheep. Do not think this is like NSP 7 layer. No. In NSP, Nithyananda Paramashivam, we work on the engrams, samskaras engraved on the layers. Here, we are directly working on the layer itself. In NSP, we were working on the painting on the canvas floor. There was a canvas floor. There was a painting. We were cleaning, doing little touch-up or correcting or wiping. Now, we are washing the very cloth itself. The very cloth itself. We are just cleaning the very layer itself. It is not that just we are touching the painting. Touching the painting is like touching the engram, samskaras. But we are working on the layer, the cloth itself, not just the painting. So understand, it's a very powerful method, sitting with the master, process. Basic requirement is you need to believe, trust I am enlightened. Otherwise you can't open up completely. So that's the basic requirement. And whether you directly believe it or not, let me tell you from my side, I have had the experience about which I am talking. I am very clear about what I am talking. So I give you once more an assurance, you can open up. Of course, now it is up to you. Second thing, decide very clearly, consciously you will open yourself. Means literally visualizing, you are like a completely open flower. Literally visualize and open yourself, all the 5 layers. all the 5 layers. You don't have to talk verbally. Talking does not mean opening up. Understand? I am not asking you to confess. No. Confession is a cunning technique to keep people under slavery. No, it's a very cunning technique. Once you confess, you can't go out of his fold. Because he knows everything about you. He knows everything about you. I am not asking you to confess. No need to verbalize. But release the thoughts, thought pattern. Open your thought pattern. Let it be dissolved. Let it disappear. So confession is a very cunning method. Practice from ages. Keep people under control. It's a very subtle cunning method. And people also start enjoying when you listen others' personal life. But really, it's got some subtle joy. Why do you think we go on talk about so many things about others? There is a joy when you talk about others' private life, especially others don't know. Many people don't know, only I know little bit. That kind of a thing. And if you add little masala here, there, and if you are sure that nobody can verify or refer to the person, you can start doing. And it's just a fun. It's like enjoying the memory that others are doing something which you can't do, which you always want to do, but which you can't do in public. When you think that others are, when you imagine or think that others may be doing, suspecting, then you start talking about it. So really, it gives a sort of a juicy feeling. What to do? Mind is always sad. Just tries to get some material, some good stuff. No, not good stuff, bad stuff. No, the same mentality only is, with that mentality only the confession idea is created. So, I am not asking you to confess, no. I am not asking you to talk, no. I am not asking you to tell, no. Just open up, release those thought patterns so that it can be erased once for all. It can be erased once for all. It can be healed. It can be cleaned. The kosha means the sheath, layers. The layers which you have can be cleaned. This program is directly based on a great Upanishad, great scripture called Taittiriya Upanishad. Taittiriya Upanishad is one of the important books from the Vedic tradition in which the method or the process for enlightenment is described. Now we are going to unfold that Upanishad. We are going to work on that Upanishad step by step. It's a whole 2 days program where you will be going through the process. Be very clear. If you have any program tomorrow or by evening, you may have to leave off. Never take up this program. No. I want you to be completely inside till tomorrow evening. I end the workshop. Because it is a process. It is not just a technique. It is a process. It is a process. You need to completely go through. I can't send you back with 1 layer, 2 layer cleaned and 3 layers stuck. And you will go. If somebody asks, no, 2 layer, my layer was cleaned. And 3 layer next session when Swamiji comes, I will do. I can't afford to do that. And you can't be playing half-half. Please decide very clearly now itself. Till tomorrow evening, you need to be here completely. You need to be here fully involved. The process means adding something to you and taking something away from you. That is what is the process. Adding something to you which is you. Taking away something from you which is not you. And during this process, during this work, I constantly create the heat or I boil the whole thing by my presence. It's practically like cooking. Adding something, removing something, side by side, boiling it, so that the whole process is completed. Whatever has to happen, happens completely. Whatever has to happen, happens in its full form. Just enjoy the scene. Don't go on wasting your time clicking. Why people click, They can't enjoy the present moment. They can keep that memory. They can enjoy only the memories. They can't enjoy the stuff itself. They become so cerebral, they can enjoy only the memory. So anything they make into memory. Actually, when they are in some good spot, they can't see it and enjoy. They can only take photograph with a big smile, forced smile, and later on, in those days, when we went to Alaska, all of us were so happy, just look. But actually, we trace back the memory, when they were there on the spot itself, they never had joy. They were not enjoying. Even the smiling, the cameraman was shouting, "Smile please!" And then they opened their mouth. We have become so dead. We enjoy only the past memories, not the reality. Now at least for 2 days, enjoy the reality. No need for past, or no need to make it as a memory. We were working and living with two identities. One we show to the outer world, the other one we show to your inner world. Now for this next 2 days, just I want you to understand, both identity does not have big hold on you. It is just your cooperation. See, these two identities are only giving you all suffering. Your 100% suffering is given by them. And you add little bit and make it 120%. All your sufferings are from these two identities. I always tell people that. Good listener. Person who is meditating and listening. Good listener means what? He is thinking of something else. I designed this body especially to do my job, my mission. That is why does not ask food, does not ask sleep, nothing. Just runs. All it means is one or two of my instruction. I do this over. Somehow, even I never expected that so many years constantly I will be working so long. Already 4.5 years. Now we are going to have the 5th anniversary of our mission this January 1st, coming January. 4.5 years, 4,700 hours I have spoken. We have recorded DVD of 4,700 hours and 1,700 homes I visited, 1.2 million disciples initiated, 200 books have been authored, 30 temples have been erected, and 78 ashrams have been built. 1,000 centers are running. I never thought the body will run so much, but it is running. Because there is an automatic mechanism. Alright, now let you all understand this one thing. Let's work on these two identities. This is the first process. After this, we will enter into initiation. The first process. The Upanishad says, before sitting with the master, you are supposed to understand the futility of identity. See, all of you know the utility of your identity. Your utility of your identity is two things. One, your wealth, second, your sufferings. These two are the results of your identity. Now, understand the futility of identity, uselessness of identity. For example, create a new crazy identity, new avatar. How you do in Yahoo? Like a new avatar. Just for 2 days, try to live with that identity sincerely. If you are male, decide to be female. If you are engineer, decide to be a lawyer. If you are a doctor, decide to be engineer. If you are a lawyer, become a doctor. Now just for 2 days. I am not saying more than that. I am not telling go back and start doing operation. Now just for 2 days. See, one important thing. Whenever you see a beautiful place, a lonely spot in the TV or photograph or in the movies, like a snow-covered mountain, vast ocean, or a beautiful hill, steep hill, you always feel you should be in that spot. You feel you should be in that place. But actually when you go there itself, you don't feel the joy. Why? Why? We always crave to be in that spot, but when we are there, we don't feel something big. Alright, safe, okay. Why? Understand? Your craving or desire to be in that spot means the truth of the desire is actually you want to go to some place where you will not be identified, where you don't have to hold on to your identity for survival, where you will not be judged. When you see those spots in your mind, first thing you remember, first thing your inner unconscious remembers is, oh, that's a space where nobody will know me, where I don't need to keep my standards, where I don't need to be so-called decent, where nobody will notice me, where I will not be judged. Your desire or the deep yearning to go away somewhere where nobody will know you, where nobody knows your identity, where your identity is not judged, that only expresses as a desire for vacation. Understand?
We now move on to the 5th of May 2011. On that day, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism expounded on the 159th Sutra, 3rd chapter, 43rd verse, 53rd verse of the Patanjali Yoga Sutras. Let us now see an excerpt from that satsang.
When I realized this sacred secret, experience of time, I just jumped out of my body and decided, let me be Paramahamsa. Understand? Time is the greatest lie ever told to you. Only based on this lie, all other lies, like you belong to this nation, you belong to this community, you belong to this religion, you belong to this culture, you belong to this race, your lifestyle is this. All the other lies are built on this one lie, something called time exists. Where is time? There is no such thing as time exists. Sun rises and falls, moon rises and falls, body rises and falls. That's all. Where is time? What is the definition of a day? It is not existential reality. A day is not a day as you think. It is the definition you created, which the whole world has accepted non-controversially. See, any definition accepted non-controversially by the world does not become existential reality. It's a taught fact. if all of us sit together and pass certain resolution, let there not be any tsunami anymore on the planet Earth, you think it is going to become existential reality? At the most, it can become a country law. That's all. Or at the most, it can become a law in all the places where the human beings are living. But not more than that. Time is the root cause of all sufferings. I tell you, realize this one truth and decide not to bend for anything. Actually, when I realized, oh God, there is no time, then why should I be running around, running behind this society which is based on time? I just declared my freedom. Courage, even to let go the body, came to me only when I realized there is no such thing as time. Understand? Unless you get into the space of courage to let go even the time, even the body. Please understand, death is not a big punishment or suffering for human beings. The biggest suffering is many of the things which you thought as your resources dying, disappearing while you are alive. When you have the guts to face that suffering, you are liberated. That guts happened in me when I realized there is no such thing as time. I just realized, oh God, there is no such thing as time. It's a man-made myth. Time is a man-made myth. Wow, you don't need to go to mission office. Actually, if you declare time is a myth, you don't need to come to mission office. I will not ask you to come. I will send food to your room. It is just an integrated decision. Not only that, you will not be bothered whether food will come to my room or not. Because when I declared time is a myth, I did not expect anybody to send food for me. I just stepped out of the society, stepped out of my own body. What society? My own body. I said, relax. Now, sun rises and falls. Moon rises and falls. Universe moves. Bodies rise and fall. Over. What a foolish myth we created, bound ourselves. Still I remember, the moment I realized, I went and lay down in a big rock called Amaparai in Tiruvannamalai. In the hill, there is a big rock, Amaparai. I threw away all my clothes and Rudraksha, everything. I went and just lay down. I was having only one lion cloth, the cowpea. On that Amaparai, I was lying down, seeing. There is no time. What is there? And sun was setting. I looked and saw, sun is setting in the west. Even this is not a truth. How do you know it is west? What do you mean by west? There is no west, no east. Something is rotating around something. As I said earlier, please understand, sun is rotating the earth. See, as per your reality, anything which you perceive for a long period, you conceive that as a reality. That is why dreams you think as illusion, because you perceive that only for few hours. This waking state you perceive as reality, you perceive this for 70 years. That is only 7 hours, this is 70 years. So you perceive this as a reality. If you look at from this definition, for the sun to go around the earth takes billions of years. Then the earth to go around the sun, earth goes around the sun within 1 year. Sun goes around the earth taking billion years. Then that should be the reality. Even as per your reality. Even as per your reality, sun goes round the earth. So I thought, what do you mean by west, east, earth going around the sun itself is a lie. Then what about the time created by this lie? Understand, sun goes around the earth. So from today, no time, no calendar. What from today? From now. What from now? Where is now? Because you are already occupying this ground, you justify the conspiracy you create and impart on the new generation happening on the planet Earth. Time is the worst myth, greatest lie, most saddest concept taught to human beings by the unconscious human beings, who are in turn taught that same foolishness by some other unconscious human beings, to whom in turn the same lie was taught by some other human being. Do not inherit sadism. When you learn the concept of time, you inherit sadism. Unfortunately, if you don't learn the concept of time, you are not given food. That's the reason I feel we should get back to agriculture civilization and start eating what grows in the land we are rolling. The land on which you are standing, sleeping, taking bath, what grows there, start eating and living with it. Get back to agriculture civilization. You don't need food, infrastructure from the fools who carry this great sadist concept of time. In the young age, I read a story, very funny story, but very sad story. One guy at the edge of the world, standing and holding the whole sky on his head. It was too heavy, but he cannot move unless he gets somebody else to hold that weight. Very childish, but there is a big truth. So suddenly one man comes there and asks him, what happened? Why are you standing like that? This fellow tries to give a big smile and says, no. If you take this load of the sky, you feel so nice, so joyful, so sweet. And then that guy says, will you allow me to stand there for half an hour? He says, no, half an hour is too much. Maybe I'll give you 5 minutes till I go to bathroom and come back. And this fellow says, okay, okay, okay. And he leaves the weight on him and runs away, that's all. And that fellow again waits for the next person to come to tell the same lie. Just like this story, time is a huge weight. Everyone is carrying on the head and waiting for somebody else to come and give a big smile, the dirty party smile. Why don't you reveal the truth? The whole human civilization is a hypocrisy. Why don't you allow the truths of the enlightened beings penetrate the mainstream human civilization? Why are you guys suffering and continuously transmitting this suffering to the planet Earth and make human beings believe their heritage, they inherit only suffering, but in the name of big plastered smile, plastic surgered smile. O human civilization, I call upon you to taste the ultimate truth which I tasted from the authority of my own experience. Relax. Where are you heading? O new generation, O the human civilization which is ready to think, realize time is the worst myth taught to you. Based on that, all the other myths. You belong to this place, you belong to this language, you belong to this culture, you belong to this country, you belong to this race, you belong to this nation, you belong to this money, you belong to this poverty. All these lies are added. The glittering concept of wealth, the glittering concept of poverty, both are glittering, please understand. Concept of wealth is glittering in the name of greed. Concept of poverty is glittering in the name of fear. Today I take a vow. I'll create a space where people don't need to believe the concept of time for their food, clothes, shelter and medical care and basic emotional fulfillment. It is these 3-4 basic things civilization uses as a noose, as a whip to torture human beings and makes them believe on the greatest lie, greatest myth called time. Unfortunately, we are too small in number. I'll make some of the strong scientific studies and tell the mainstream society time is a myth. And when you relax from that myth, you become more healthy. Your liver does not get old. Please understand. Liver and the tip of the nose, these two are the mechanisms which tastes and records time. See, your tip of the nose, this is the point where the time is red. Like there are nowadays some unique machines. If you just put that lens on the newspaper, that will read out actually for you, especially for blind people. You just put that glass, that lens, it will read, create sound like a news reading on any book, on anything. that tip which touches the letter and makes it as a sound, that is the main tip in that machine. Same way, in your life, the tip of the nose, that's a spot where time is recorded by your body.
We now move on to the 5th of May 2012. On 5th of May 2012, a landmark event happened in the history of Hinduism as instructed by Devi Meenakshi and Lord Sundareshwara. The 292nd Pontiff recognized the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism as an incarnation of Devi Meenakshi and Lord Sundareshwara and coronated him as the 293rd Pontiff of Sarvingapita, the world's most ancient living Hindu religious organization. The legendary and sacred Madurai Adhinam had existed since time immemorial. It was revived 1500 years ago by the young incarnation Trignana Sambandha, the visionary saint of South Indian Shaiva Siddhanta. The Adhinam was established in Madurai, one of the oldest cities in the world, dating back since the time of Lord Sundareshwara and Devi Meenakshi's presence on earth. Devotees from all over the world beheld this sacred darshan as he assumed the mantle as the religious head of the oldest organization that he himself had built and consecrated thousands of years ago. Let us now see the various happenings of the 5th of May 2012.
Nithyananda, welcome to Nithyananda TV News from Bididi Ashram for Saturday, May 5th, 2012, the year of meditation and cosmic partying, the kind that doesn't do damage to our bodies. Now for today's headlines. With the Swamiji in Tiravannamalai today, recorded discourses were played for Nithyananda TV Morning Satsang. Rudrabhishekam, Rudra Oma, Dhyana Satsang, Kapiltaru and Darshan from Tiravannamalai is live on Nithyananda TV tonight. Chitra Nakshatra Snapana Tirumanjanam Abhishekam today from Nithyanandeshwara Temple, Bididi. And Los Angeles sends news updates. Toronto sends Brahmotsava photos from Meenakshi to Vilaku Puja and ongoing 21-day peace meditations near the Toronto Legislature buildings. And a weekly news update. 21 days of a Japa Japa ended yesterday and Guadalupe sends updates. Oklahoma wraps up their 21 days of peace meditations May 4th. May 6th is the N Genius Yoga Camp. And now for today's top stories. With the Swamiji in Tiravannamalai today, recorded discourses were played for Nithyananda TV Morning Satsang.
You know, there was a huge treasury in a cave, but you have been misinformed that entering the cave will be highly dangerous. You may bleed unto death and all that. But suddenly, somehow, by mistake, you are lost in the forest and you walk this way, that way. Finally, you cross a thorny bush, get scratched all over the body, but small wound, not dangerous, not like death or huge. Thorny bush, and here and there your body is scratched and you will have a little bleeding, but you reach that cave. What will you think? Oh God, only these few thorns. What a foolish idea I was in. I thought I'll literally die if I reach this cave. But now I realize it is only just few thorns, nothing more, nothing else. It is such a big difficulty only in mind. I tell you, when you cross death, you will have this exact mood. Now you have too many ideas, misconceptions. You are misguided. Death is huge happening in your life. You have been misguided. Marriage is the huge happening. And you know it after 16 days. How you have been misguided. Same way, you are misguided. Death is a big happening. Within 16 seconds of your death, you will know, oh God, such a simple thing. Why was I given such a wrong ideas and concepts and misleading, misguiding informations? Understand? You are searching for a secret treasure. Two close friends, one who knows the secret is telling the other one, and you overhear it. How you will use it? Use exactly in that same tone, this truth. This one understanding from Bhagavan is enough to liberate you. Do not make any of your decision based on this death fear. See, the problem is when you accept death fear, that forms a base ground, fertile ground for all other weeds to happen. All other weeds are the other fears. If your inner consciousness is awakened and goes on accumulating layers and layers of maturity, wisdom, by the rolling of time, it is life. Please understand. If your inner consciousness is not awakened, passing of the time adds layers and layers of engram in you. Good or bad, layers of engrams makes you tired and old. Are you aging or growing? There are two different things. Aging, growing. If you are unconsciously, without any awareness, hitting time, any experience happens is accident. Moment you are growing, start creating a diary for yourself. Today, how many hours I grew, how many hours I aged. If you count, every day morning 5 hours you grow during the sadhana. And after that, almost all the hours you age. Remember, every moment, are you growing or aging? Growing or aging?
As a morning note, Swamiji recently blessed Nithyananda catering services for Ma Victoria and Shreya in Seattle, as they will begin serving devotees and others there. And being Purnami, send your patterns for unclutching to en.sharing@nithyananda.org and pick up new changes for this next month. Rudra Abhishekam, Rudra Oma, Jnana Satsang, Kalpataru and Darshan, live on Nithyananda TV tonight from Tiruvannamalai. Nithyananda.org/events to avail your offerings. And we find in Tiruvannamalai 24-hour continuous Anadan, volunteers making lemons for lemon piercing, the Lingashetra, a lamp offering to 1008 lingams, and a medical camp for public and volunteers.
பெரிய ஊசி வச்சுக்கிறீங்களா? பெரிய ஊசி வெங்கோ வெங்கோ பெரிய ஊசி போறீங்களா? பெரிய ஊசி யாராச்சும் வச்சுக்கிறீங்களா? பெரிய ஊசி வச்சுக்கிறீங்களா? தம்பி தம்பி பிடிக்காத தம்பி, போட்டோ எடுக்காத, போட்டோ எடுக்கக்கூடாது, போட்டோ எடுக்க எல்லா பெரிய ஊசியும் சொன்னதான் எல்லாமே ஒரே
கூட பார்த்து நம்ம அந்த ஒர்க் பார்த்தா நம்ம மற்றதை பார்க்க முடியாது.
நம்மள மீட்டிங் கேன்சல் பண்ணுங்க. சார் கூட என்ன பார்த்து என்ன தேவையோ அதை வேண்டி
do medical checkup, preliminary medical checkup for all the volunteers who are on a regular basis here who are coming to do work during total. So what we are doing is physical checkup and height and weight, BMI and basic blood sugar and glucose.
We now move on to the 5th of May 2013. On this day, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism expanded on the nature of Mula Vasana, our thought pattern, root patterns. Root patterns are biomemories which remain stuck as repeating compulsive habits in our lives. Functioning simply on biomemory is living in Bandha Jiva, spiritual bondage. When we embrace the four life principles of integrity, authenticity, responsibility, and enriching others, we burn away these biomemories and convert them to bioenergy, which frees us to live an enlightened life. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism illustrated the four principles in a story from his childhood on how he persuaded the Ganesha Murti in his home to take food for him. This beautiful example demonstrated the power of the principles to create miracles. And on the 5th of May 2014, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism conducted the Varanasi Inner Awakening Day 5 and the Meenakshi Brahmotsavam Day 5. On this day, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism shared his presence for Kalabhairavashtakam on the Brahmotsavam happening before the morning satsang. The Kalabhairavashtakam, written by the great incarnation Sri Shankaracharya, describes Kalabhairava to be the bestower of fame and all the worldly pleasures and supreme bliss. In the Adi Kailasa Bengaluru Adhinam, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism installed the deity of Lord Mahakalabhairava near the main entrance of the Adhinam. And on the 5th of May 2015, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, embodying Paramashiva's energy, kindled the blissful space of Shiva from the Anandavana, the bliss-filled abode of Paramashiva himself. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism delivered the Shivoham experience as part of the Inner Awakening Convention in the holy city of Varanasi, which is the city of gods. Here Paramashiva engulfed the delegates as part of him, in his love current flowing as Ganga. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism's welcoming energy was inviting all to just be at Varanasi, the city older than legends, and never ever forsaken by Shiva. Those who made it to Varanasi in awakening were blessed with the rarest Shivoham experience of the cosmic consciousness, which transformed them a Paramashiva Gana, embodying and radiating Paramashiva. And on the 5th of May 2016, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism presided over the Living Shuddhaadvaitam Convention in the Ujjain Adhinam as part of the most auspicious and holiest event of Kumbh Mela. On this day, thousands of devotees from around the world gathered to experience Mahadeva and the 70 extraordinary powers that he revealed and initiated all as per the Agamas. The multi-day Living Shuddhaadvaitam Convention was hosted in Kailasa's camp in the Ujjain Kumbh Mela. Additionally, on this day, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism hosted Bandhara for the Mahamandaleshwar and the lakhs of sadhus that honored the Ujjain Adhinam with their holy presence. And on the 5th of May 2017, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism presided over the Meenakshi Pattabhishekam, which is a celebration of the divine ascending the throne as the ruler of the cosmos. And in this celebration, we celebrated the coronation of Devi Meenakshi. On the 5th of May 2018, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism conducted the online Nitya Dhyan Yoga Darshan. Additionally, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism presided over the Tirumanjanam and Tomalai Seva at the Nithyanandeshwara Devasthanam that were offered in Adi Kailasa, Bengaluru Adhinam. And on the 5th of May 2020, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism expounded on the cosmic principle of how ahimsa can be the strategy to stop the Hindu Holocaust. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism expressed that feeling separated from Paramashiva is the root of violence and should be dealt with by completion, never support with delusional arrogance. And on the 5th of May 2021, the ambassadors and delegates of the Kailasa nation received the Shaktipada and Shaktinipada with the darshan, the live darshan of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. On this day, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism blessed all with the darshan of Parashakti Arulvak, one in the morning and one during the evening. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, as the Nijavatara, embodied the various dimensions of Parashakti, her auspiciousness, her powers, her grace during the Parashakti Akashic reading. As a result of being in the space of receiving and listening, those highest qualities and attributes and the extraordinary divine powers of Devi Parashakti were awakened in the delegates by the grace and blessings of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. And with that, we come to the end of this beautiful segment of the Glimpses of the Glorious Past. And we thank each and every one of you who have joined this wonderful segment. We will now be entering into the alive satsang by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. So we request everyone to please come back and settle down. Please sit straight. Please sit with your head, neck, and spine in a straight line. And get ready to receive the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism.